crap that I say is not that important. I tell you what, it's a funky game. Both teams offensively were really good. Nobody could really get a stop. I thought the way that we played defensively, we tried to be physical without fouling, which is extremely important in a game like this because we had an advantage from the free throw line and we needed every single one of those free throw attempts. We also were really good on the offensive glass. Obviously, Mitch and Kat, they were huge with the 7 offensive rebounds. Jordan Clarkson had a big one, but for us to outscore them 14-2 in second chance points was a big night. So those two areas, as well as a low turnover game for us, with a low turnover game for them too, were big. So we won the possession game, and that helped us get over the hump. We had 7 guys in double figures, which was huge. Jordan's been playing well on both ends of the floor. He's given it to us defensively, and he's given it to us offensively. I tell you, his ability to read the defense and make timely cuts and finish in that painted area is a lot of fun to watch. It just adds another dimension to what we're trying to do. Jalen was fantastic, obviously, especially closing the game. Big Cat with a double-double was great. Our defensive player of the game was OG, and he guarded a lot of different players. But close the game the way he did against Zion. Zion's just he's a monster. He's a handful for anybody, and for OG to be able to do the job that he did on him down the stretch was huge.
Coach, you gave up during the second and third quarter 64 points combined, but then in the fourth quarter you locked down. So what changed in that fourth quarter?
The biggest thing was our transition. In that second quarter, we took some tough shots that led to breaks for them, and we had some turnovers that led to breaks for them. And then in the third too, they were able to get out a little bit in the third and transition off of some of our misses, and a couple of our turnovers as well. And our guys did a better job of taking care of the ball in that fourth quarter, and our shot quality was a little bit better too.
Coach, how do you like Karl's level of intensity towards the end of the season more? He's been more aggressive.
I would say this. We also had to. When I say we, I'm talking about me. I had to adjust to him as well, and that's what a season's about. We're not playing the same way offensively as we did to start the year, and so I had to make some adjustments to try to figure out how I can get him involved a little bit better, get him to feel a little bit more comfortable, and it's showing a little bit. He's obviously putting the work, which you want all your guys to do, but it's a two-way street, and it's good to see him playing at the level he's playing at right now.
What were some of the adjustments that you've done specifically for Karl?
When he is at the 4 spot, we really simplified it so that he doesn't have to think as much. And then, when he doesn't have to think as much, he can just react. We try to make him more comfortable by putting him in his spots. Like he loves being at the top of the floor. He's not always there, but we've added a couple more things that put him there with appropriate space. And then we found a post up and an ISO situation for him that is pretty good from a spacing standpoint and how he likes to operate, and those things we didn't have at the beginning of the year for him. And so again, he's made adjustments. He's kept working. He continues to work, but as the head coach, I have to make adjustments too, especially with him being one of our 2 best players.
When it comes to Jordan defensively, it felt like before he was pulled out of
What happened to your finger?
playing pickup. I'll show you.
Is that your shooting hand? I can't look at it because it might crisp me.
It's just really perfect. That's my shooting hand.
Okay.
65 games. I just had maybe 60.
Okay, fair enough.
It felt like before he was kind of taken out of the rotation, there would be times defensively where maybe you get beat backdoor, maybe lost in no man's land at times. Do you agree with that assessment at points earlier in the season, and has it just been a better focus from him on that end?
Well, I will say this: it has been a better focus, not just for him, for all of us. But you can see the level of awareness and sense of urgency that he plays with now, especially on that end of the floor. But what I like more than anything else is his physicality on the ball. You feel him, and he's relentless with it. And he's an old vet, so he's got that old man strength. Even though he's a lot younger than me, but he's doing a great job of leading with his chest and not fouling, but turning the ball 2-3 times before it even gets to half court. And we're able to put him on the point guard. We're able to put him off the ball, and but his level of physicality has definitely increased the right way because he's doing it without fouling.
Primarily close with a smaller lineup, whether it was maybe Josh was the 5 on offense, or maybe it was OG at the 5. Was that to combat what the lineup they had out there? Is that something you just wanted to see what it looked like? I guess what was kind of the thinking there?
Yeah, we feel like we can be pretty versatile on both ends of the floor, and they started putting Mitch in pick and roll when he was out there, and we did not do a great job covering it. And I think Fears hit a 3, and the young fella Matkovic, I hope I don't butcher his name, but they both had great games, and he had popped once or twice and he was open, so our rotations weren't quite where they were. And so my sisters, they were great. They suggested to me, because every call that happens out on the floor I'm responsible for, but they suggested going small. It was led by Rick, which was the right call. He asked me if I wanted to, and I said yes. It's a great suggestion. We're going to go small, boom, 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 and that's what we did. And we just ended up switching pick and rolls.
Miles McBride, I know he was on the floor working out before the game. Is there anything new there? Has he progressed beyond just working with the coaches and taking contact, like scrimmaging or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't think so. I just But beyond that, are you meaning something else beyond that?
No, just the scrimmaging people.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Mike, sorry. You talked about it being kind of rare to have a team that can flip a switch, and you cited your Warriors days. The talent on those teams is a unique situation.
Well, the team before 22 and 22, we weren't good enough to flip the switch. We were good, but not good enough just to flip that switch.
I wonder if there are any parallels when it comes to how good Jalen is offensively. Is there a part of you as a coach that kind of has to resist hitting the Jalen in crunch time button, or is it sometimes you see him do what he does tonight, and you're like, oh, that's what anyone is trying to do ever, is have a game like that or a performance like that in the fourth quarter? How do you balance that, leaning on him versus helping your team learn and figure out how to get the best shot?
That's what great players do. Great players, when it counts the most, when the pressure's the highest, they make the game easier for everybody else. And sometimes that means go score it. Sometimes that means draw 2 and move it to OG for a wide open 3 or somebody else. And he was great with that tonight. And being who he is, and me being the head coach, yeah, I don't ever put a cap on those guys. You don't put a cap on, your Steph Curry and Golden State and Jaylen Brown here, and Jalen Brunson here, and Jaylen Brown and Boston. You let those guys go be who they are, and you try to put the right people around them. And when that ball gets swung to you, you got to step up and make the right play if he's commanded 2 people and you're wide open.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.